Are you ready?
Are you ready?
For a podcast hosted by George T.
Who the hell are you?
I am the movie geek.
Who are you?
I am the movie geek.
You are such a geek.
Thank you.
And now, on with the show.
It's time!
It's showtime.
It's showtime.
Here we go. Welcome back to the Movie Geek Podcast. My name is George Tadino, and I'm your host, as always. We've got a very small show today. We are going to do a review of Dune 2, spoiler-free, hopefully, and the movie Spaceman that just came out on Netflix with Adam Sandler. I've read some of the other reviews of this film, and I'll let you guys decide on what you think of the film. We will talk about upcoming movies that I'm looking forward to. I know I keep saying we, and it must be because I have so many voices in my head, or just because it's just natural to say we. But I have a couple of specials that I need to drop, and I know I've been talking about them, but Razzie's special and the Oscar preview I will drop because Dad Brain here had forgotten that the Oscars is actually this weekend, so I need to get those two out because they'd kind of be relatively stupid to drop them afterwards once the winners are announced. I will do next week's weekly episode as a recap of the Razzies and the Oscars, and we'll see how my predictions do in this situation, and I'm hoping that I do pretty well. All right, so without further ado, let's get on with this weekend's box office. We had Dune obviously taking number one, and I do apologize for last week saying that it would probably do 300 million in the first weekend. I forgot this is now 2024. We don't go to the movies as often as we used to. You know, my local movie theater does not do early movies. It does, starts at like 1 o'clock, or even on the weekends, it starts at 11:30. And for some reason nowadays, we don't do midnight movies anymore. I used to love midnight movies. I used to go after work, going out and grabbing a bite to eat, and then going to see a midnight movie. That was a lot of fun back then. So I don't know. I know it's a sign of the times, and people have streaming services and whatnot. They wait for those, or they just pay for video on demand, which I don't understand. I would rather, if I'm going to pay my money, I want to go see them in the theater. That's just me. So, but anyway, Dune doing 82.5 million last weekend. Bob Marley finished second after 2 straight weeks at number 1. Ordinary Angels finished third again. I wish this was playing on more theaters or had more showings at my local theaters. The Chosen finished fourth, and Madam Web keeps spinning its web in 5th place. The Drive Away Dolls movie that finished 9th the weekend before with my review, and now it is 11th. So I do not see this weekend being any different with Dune being on top. We have Kung Fu Panda 4, which is coming out this weekend. So that will do a lot of money, but I do not think it will knock off Dune. And Imaginary also comes out, and I'm not sure how many theaters this is going to be playing in. So my guess for this weekend's box office, and I'm hoping that Thursday or next Thursday when I come back with the winners of the Razzies and Oscars, that my prediction for this weekend will be just the same. I believe that Dune will be number 1, followed by Kung Fu Panda, and then Imaginary, because I think this movie has potential to be a very good horror film for this year. All right, with that being said, let us go to my review of Dune 2. Hopefully this will be spoiler-free. The only thing that I will say probably toward the end isn't really a spoiler, but we'll get to that afterwards. So if you're familiar with Dune, the first one, the House of Atreides was attacked at the very end of the film, and everyone was perceived to be destroyed and killed. And we obviously know that Paul Atreides, the son of the heir to that house and his mother all both survived and are in hiding. They are in hiding with the nomads of the world known as the Furman, and Zendaya and Javier Bardem are the two big key people in the Furman. Obviously, Zendaya has some interest in Paul Atreides, as in the movie. Their friendship blossoms into a love story. Javier Bardem character continues to think that he is the savior of the planet. So while they are trying to keep them hidden, we get to meet the emperor of Arcadis, the planet. His daughter tells of the story, played by Florence Pugh, and the emperor is played by Christopher Walken. And he has a very brief period of time in between trying to save the planet, but also is curious if Paul Atreides is still alive, even though there is no confirmation. So the Baron is sending out his best trooper, played by Dave Bautista. However, the Furman have been able to stop the spice running, and it falls on Bautista's head. And so the Baron decides to send out his youngest nephew, a fearsome warrior in himself, to take up arms and find Paul Atreides, as rumors are spreading wildfire that he is among the Furman attacking the spice running. Meanwhile, Paul Atreides' mom, who is a telepath and is also pregnant, becomes the mother for her powers, now becomes the Reverend Mother, and drinks from the water of life. So when any person dies on this planet Arcaris, their life essence or their water becomes part of the world and part of the water of life. She winds up drinking this. Now, they didn't realize that she was pregnant, and it almost killed her. But it made the baby inside of her just as powerful as the mother. And it was kind of a weird thing. And it was kind of weird because, again, now I have a 5-week-old, and I couldn't even imagine my girlfriend having that experience where the baby was doing some of the talking for the mother. It was just kind of crazy. I know it's kind of off topic, but it's just funny to me. So obviously there is the epic scenes, and the fight sequences were amazing. And finally, they track down Paul Atreides, and there's the worm attacks. Like, it's just a very visually stunning movie that you need to see on the big screen. You really can't do it justice on a TV unless you've got a massive TV screen. So if you're one of these people that don't like to go to the movies but want to see an epically beautiful film, then you're missing out. You really should go see this movie. Rotten Tomatoes definitely gave it, I think it was a 92% or 97. I forgot. I should have wrote that down. But absolutely was worth the viewing. So the spoiler that really isn't a spoiler because it has been all over the internet, but Dune 3 will be coming out to finish the story, as Paul Atreides now is in war against the other 9 houses of the planet. So this should be even more epic and just all out war. So I'm looking forward to it when that does eventually come out. So very much like Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, where he took The Hobbit and made it into 3 films. This director, and I know I'm going to screw up the name, so sorry about that, but Denis Villeneuve will have taken this adaptation book and have made it into 3 films. So, and it's going to make a lot of money. So, of course, you're going to want to make it into a trilogy. So, it is definitely worth a watch. I hope that you do like the recommendation. And again, I did not give away, hopefully, anything really, because there's a lot in there. All right, now on to Spaceman. So, Adam Sandler plays a cosmonaut who is on a mission to investigate something known as a Chopra cloud, an area of space outside of Jupiter whose purple glow has become visible to the Earth. So this is a 6-month mission, 3 months out and 3 months back. And he is all alone, and his only communication setup is through, obviously, his space program and they have something set up in his home for his pregnant wife. So he is all alone. His mental health is going to shit. Because he's just alone, and he's having trouble communicating to his wife. Well, his wife is ready to leave him because they have had some rough patches where his work became his only lot in life, and it pushed her away. And so as he is unable to communicate with her, and they're telling him, she's okay, and she's got a bad communication issue, we're trying to fix it, the more they're trying to get her to come back to him so it doesn't jeopardize his mission. So as he starts to hear some peculiar sounds on the ship, I guess the bathroom is backing up or something, and it's bothering him at night. They can't run diagnostics, and then they finally do, and they say nothing is wrong with it. So one of these nights, he hears more commotion out on the hull of the ship, and then the bathroom starts doing its thing, and lo and behold, he hears a voice, and he doesn't know where it's coming from. He thinks it's in his head. He goes and opens the bathroom, and lo and behold, there's this giant tarantula-looking thing that is speaking to him. So now he's scared, and he goes into the escape pod and asks them to do a decontamination sequence on the ship so that hopefully it'll eradicate this tarantula looking thing. The mission control cannot find any organisms on the ship other than him. So they're like, well, we don't want to do that. And he's like, can you just do it? So they do, and it seems to have worked. He has disappeared. However, he is still there. He went back into the bathroom, and I guess it was a safe haven, and he said to him that if you're trying to get rid of me, it wasn't going to work. So as the movie goes on, and this is based on a book, so if you wanted to read the book is called Spaceman of Bohemia. It came out in 2017. So now the tarantula creature becomes somewhat of a therapist for him. He's telepathic in the fact that he can see that he is emotionally distressed from his being alone, but also being alone in his own relationship with his wife. And as it goes further, we start to understand that the wife wanted just to be with him, and he was too preoccupied with work to care, and the only times that he seemed to really love her and miss her was when she wasn't there. And so he now is reliving some past traumas with her, and to be fair, if she knew she was going to leave him, why would she have gotten pregnant with him? Even though I know love is strong, but if you were already thinking of leaving him before he took this mission, pregnancy was probably not going to help. So as the movie goes along, he really feels like, oh my God, why, I really need her, and why am I here? And I should be home. And it's sad because you're alone in space, and obviously he misses his wife, and he now has so much time to reflect on the fact that he has been so absent to her, and it hurts him. And that is a good thing for a relationship. Like, if you are missing somebody and they don't acknowledge that, and that's obviously a very bad sign that they don't care. But at the same time, trying to find the reconnection points is somewhat difficult. And again, listen to me giving relationship advice. Again, divorced dad who's, really reflecting, and it hit me as, at times I felt that way, and I'm sure, she felt that way as well, and we just couldn't come together. And, him trying to make that work is how his redemption story is going to come. And I will say that I'm in a better place now. I'm in a better relationship now. So yes, my reflection does have, some validity to it, but at the same time now I have been on both sides of it, and now again my redemption story as so I feel for him in this regard. And so the story ends with him somehow winding up into outer space with the tarantula kind of floating around into what the tarantula calls the beginning, as he collects the samples of the purple mist, and then winds up being rescued by another probe ship. And so he does get to finally see her again, and it kind of fades to black. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Adam Sandler doing a drama. My girlfriend asked me, she goes, "Oh my God, he's doing a serious film." And I'm like, yeah, he's done a bunch of these. And I know for all of Adam Sandler fans and non-fans, I know he was really funny early on with The Waterboy and Happy Gilmore and Airheads and a bunch of other things. He's also done the Hotel Transylvania movies, and he's done a lot of the slapstick comedies that, as he's grown up with, like The Grown-Ups and others that weren't as funny. But he has done some serious films, like Punk Punch Drunk Love, which was a really good movie. I thought Spanglish was a really good movie. Hustle was a good one. And Uncut Gems was amazing. He was really good in this film. It had gotten a lot of praise for him, and it was rightfully deserved. He played a amazing character in this, and that one was based on a true story as well. So if you haven't seen that one, it is worth a view. So Spaceman, is it worth viewing? Yes, I think so. I think it is pretty good. Again, it's not the slapstick comedy that you're used to. It's not even a comedy. I mean, there is some little funny lines, but it is more drama. So if you do like Adam Sandler in dramas, this is definitely worth it. If you're looking for him to do slapstick comedy, this is definitely not the movie for you. Although I'm glad it was a tarantula and not like a penguin like he did with Billy Madison and a bunch of the other films that he did when he was hallucinating. So those are my 2 movie reviews for this week. Dune 2, definitely 2 thumbs up. Spaceman is a definite 1 thumbs up for me because, again, it all depends on what your views of Adam Sandler are. If you are not an Adam Sandler fan, then you may pass. However, you may be an Adam Sandler fan of his dramas and not his comedy, so this would definitely be one. If you're just a fan of his comedy because it's so tongue-in-cheek, goofy, and you're not a drama fan, then this is definitely not one for you. But definitely, I would say 1 thumbs up for me. All right, so we have two movies coming out this weekend that I am actually looking forward to seeing. I thought one came out last weekend, but it actually came out this week. It is Damsel. That is on Netflix. It stars Millie Bobby Brown, and it looks pretty good from all the previews. And another one that my son had mentioned, and we saw a preview for, Ricky Stenicki, with John Cena and William H. Macy and Zac Efron. My God, it looks hilarious. John Cena has definitely come a long way in his films. Great to see him kind of transform himself, and he doesn't take himself as seriously. If you remember in Barbie, he took the mermaid role in Barbie, and there was some criticism about that. The company wanted him to do it. His agent and some of the talent scouts told him not to because it probably would do something bad for his career. Well, it really hasn't, because John has really equipped himself doing multiple things. Peacemaker 2 is going to be released at some point on Max. Again, a character I didn't really particularly care for. Another one, DC anyway. But that is coming back. My son really liked him as Peacemaker. But he has stretched himself pretty good from just when he started with the action stuff, and now he's doing dramas and he's doing comedies, and he's just making fun of himself, and it's fun to watch. A lot of actors wouldn't do that, but obviously he's not really an actor. He was a wrestler, which, again, wrestlers make very good actors if they're given the right material, because they have to do it on almost a nightly basis. I mean, they're on the road. It used to be like 300 days a year. Now I think it's 200 to 250 days a year, and they have to perform live in front of an audience every night, whether it be on TV or during weekends. They're doing house shows, so that's where these guys are pretty much well equipped. I mean, look at Dave Bautista. He has also stretched himself out, from the action star to comedy to drama. I mean, he was in M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin. I mean, that you don't normally, would say, whoa, wow, he was a wrestler? Like, wow, how does he wind up in this film? Well, because he's actually a pretty good actor. So, but those two films, I probably most likely will review next week or maybe the week after, depending on how much material I have for next week's podcast. Because again, we're going to have a recap of the Razzies and the Oscars, which again you will see sometime tomorrow and Saturday, or both on Saturday or both on Friday. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I have both my preview shows for the Razzies and the Oscars, and the Razzies go off on Saturday night this week, and obviously the Oscars are Sunday night. So I am looking forward to that. My whole world kind of stops in that instance. So I will be missing The Walking Dead again, which 2 episodes in, kind of liking. I also just received a little word from a friend of mine who sent me a link, and it's something that I think I'm going to even try. So this is going to be cool. So they are looking for actors, or they're looking for extras for season 2 of Walking Dead, Dead City. They're filming in Boston. So I guess Boston now is going to transform it to New York, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to hit the link, try to submit myself, and maybe just wind up in a show. I mean, a movie geek who loves some TV, being in a great show that I had, I think, number 2 on my list of all-time favorite shows, that would be amazing. Also, coming up in the next, 5-6 months is the Comic-Con season. Fan Expo Boston is first this year. It is in June. Then Terrificon is in August. And then this year we're going to go to Silver Scream 3. Last year we weren't able to go to the Comic-Con, but we did get to see the Ice Nine Kills concert. That was the first ever concert. Yes, I know I'm a little older, but yes, that was the first concert I ever went to, was the Ice Nine Kills one. And that is coming up in September. Terracon, I don't know. It's kind of been moving around the days. Last year it was on my son's birthday. I'm not exactly sure when they're going to do it this year, so I may have to skip that one. But the big one that I usually go to is the Rhode Island Comic Con, and that one is in November. So I'm hoping that if we get enough traction here and we get enough word of mouth and stuff when I get to these Comic Cons, that maybe, just maybe, I can get a guest on, or 2 or 3, or just have a special on that. And I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm hoping that you guys are really enjoying this, because I'm starting to really get to enjoy this, and the content is flowing a little bit better, I hope, for you guys. So this is where I'm going to leave you. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed the reviews and the previews, and I just hope you're enjoying this. So we'll see you next week for more of the Movie Geek Podcast. I hope to see you at the movie.
See you next time. Bye.
Waiting for you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That's all, folks.